All right, cheers, man.
Cheers.
Mm. So, Austin, today you brought the sake. Can you tell me a bit about why you chose this one?
So it was there in front of me.
Okay.
No, but I was trying to find some good sake.
Yeah.
So
I like this one.
Yeah. It's really nomiyasu.
Yeah, nomiyasu. It's the namazake, but it's honjozo, so it's got a little bit of a kick to it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, we have two today because they're two small ones.
So, to give you some backstory on why I got this and where.
Yeah.
I just got back from summer camp from school.
Right.
And it's intense.
Yeah.
So we went up into Nagano-ken.
Okay.
In this small town called
Nagano. Okay, so actually I kind of want to know what were you expected to do, or before you actually got there, what were you thinking you were going to do? Like, what was your purpose there?
This isn't my first time doing it.
Okay.
So I kind of knew what to expect, but to kind of fill people in on kind of what, as a foreigner, what you would expect going to summer camp.
Yeah.
Traditionally, if you go to summer camp, it's like you guys are sleeping in tents or sleeping bags. There's like bonfires, s'mores.
Yeah, in American summer camps, right?
Yeah. Like outdoor activities, hiking, just doing stuff outside.
Yeah.
Like if you go as a kid to summer camp, maybe you'll stay in like a cabin, and you'll like your whole day will just be filled with activities. Japanese summer camp is pretty much the exact opposite of everything I just listed.
What?
so
okay.
Yeah. It not to say that it's not fun, but the experience is really like as opposite as you could possibly go.
Okay, so summer camp in the United States, the kind of the expected purpose of it is for the kids to be in nature, to get active, to do a lot of nature-related things, and kind of just take a break from their regular lives, right?
Yeah.
But what's the purpose of Japanese summer camp?
So Japanese summer camp is you're usually going like the best way I could equivalent it to is like juku.
You're going juku. Okay.
It's like juku camp.
Juku camp? What?
No, but that's the best way I can describe it.
Okay.
Like, all right, so let me explain. And like I said, it's still fun.
Yeah.
Right. So, my school went, and it was mostly junior high school students. But we had a couple high schoolers, and basically, you travel out into the middle of nowhere. And this is coming from a person living in Tokyo. Okay. So, but we traveled out to Nagano, and you stay at a ryokan, which is like a traditional Japanese hotel kind of thing, right? And you do everything together. That means from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you are all together all the time.
Like, and how many people go at one time?
So typically groups are about 30 to 40.
What?
My school is a little smaller, so we only had like a handful of students, like probably 10, 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's not like there's only one or two teachers. Like, there's proportional amount of teachers, right? And what you'll do is you'll go out into the middle of nowhere, and typically you'll go out into the forest. You'll stay at a ryokan like deep in the forest, right? Like we did. But you don't go outside.
You don't go outside?
No, not really. We went outside one day, and we explored the town. Okay. Which was pretty fun. I mean, it's a nice town. And kind of did a couple outdoor things, and then pretty much spent the whole time inside.
Wait, so what do you do all day?
So you'll do like various activities. So this was technically like an English camp, right?
Okay.
So we'll do like English class, straight up English class.
Just straight up English class.
Straight up English class. So you go through like all the exercises and stuff you would expect to see in English class. We did a Zoom meeting with people from different countries.
Wait, so you go to the summer camp, you do Zoom?
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds ridiculous, but it was a good experience. So basically, we got everyone together, and then we did a Zoom meeting, and we got a group from Sweden, Korea, and Spain.
Okay.
So these people from all these countries connected and call with us, and then we broke everyone into like little groups and rooms, and then they got to talk with them for about like an hour.
Okay. Wow.
And so most of the day was spent like prepping the students to be able to carry a conversation for an hour. And the main topic was like sweets. So it was a lot of fun.
Okay.
And like I said, it's a lot of Japanese summer camps are usually juku.
Yeah.
Or another popular thing is like sports clubs will go on summer camp. And instead of like studying English, they're practicing basketball.
Okay.
For like 8 hours a day.
Okay.
So it's like really, really intense compared to American summer camp.
Okay, yeah.
However, there's some fun elements. So very similar to elementary schools here in Japan. In elementary schools in Japan, the students are in charge of preparing and making all the meals.
Okay.
Right? Summer camp here is the exact same way. All of the meals are prepared by the students and teachers.
Really?
Yeah. So like, we'll do barbecue and everyone's in charge of cooking their own meat and doing vegetables, and everyone sits down together, and then like you'll have somebody be like, "Oh, itadakimasu, let's eat." And so there's I think something similar with summer camp in the US is there's that like connection with trying to be a community and doing things by yourself.
Yeah.
So I think there are some similarities there.
Yeah, dude, that's so interesting. Actually, it'd be interesting to hear you talk about summer camp too, because in the States, I only went to Christian summer camp. Oh, yeah. But I mean, it's I think for the most part it's fairly normal,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to hear what it was like for like non-Christian summer camp, because I've only been in Christian summer camp.
Yeah.
And just talk about the differences between how it is in Japan,
So as a kid in the US, do you know the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah.
So my parents used to kind of toss me out to the Boys and Girls Club during the summer. I like to think that they wanted to socialize me, but I think they just wanted some time by themselves.
They wanted you out, yeah. That's how it is mostly.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I had a good time. But yeah, so we would go on day trips, and then we would go on some camping trips too. And like I was describing when we first started, so usually when we go out, there was a couple times we stayed at cabins, but usually we would go and set up these really large tents.
Oh, okay.
And then there was probably about 30 or 40 of us, just boys and girls. And everyone was probably, I don't know, like 6 to 10 or 11 years old.
Okay.
So think like elementary and junior high.
Right.
And so we'd get split up into probably groups like 5 or 6 kids, and then we'd all have our sleeping bags and we'd be in tents, and it would kind of be maybe similar to Boy Scouts. I would describe it like they teach us how to like some very basic survival stuff, like how to make a tent, how to make a fire. We'd go on some hikes.
Okay.
We would make s'mores. We do that kind of thing, but basically just camping in a group.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like really camping.
Yeah.
Camping. Okay. Because my experience with camping was a little bit different. Like the same concept was the same, which was the kids go out, they get active, they spend time in nature. But so actually, when I first moved to the States when I was 8, my parents wanted me to, I guess, socialize with some local kids. So we went on to this day camping thing. But where I lived, it's a small town called Marblehead, which is just like northeast of Boston.
Yeah.
And there are lots of islands in the area. There's a harbor there. So like we would take a ferry and we would go out to the island where we would hang out for the day, and then they would ferry us back. That was like my day camp when I was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
But then when I was in middle school, I went up to like the mountains in New Hampshire, and there was this camping grounds where they had log cabins, and they also had like a mess hall, like a food hall that you would go eat in. So it was much more structured than what you're talking about.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know if this is strictly a West Coast thing. But I'm going to see if you had a similar experience. Did you ever go on school camping trips to like abandoned military bases?
No.
Okay. So that's something you do in Seattle.
Okay. Abandoned military bases.
So do you know Whidbey Island?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's an old army base there back from World War II. And there are all these like, so basically I don't want to get too into this, but basically, if you look at the shape of Washington, there's the peninsula out here, and there was 3 army bases during World War II, and they were like kind of put to protect like the Seattle and stuff from Japanese boats coming in, right? And they don't use the bases anymore; they're abandoned. But schools will come out there and stay in the bunkers.
Really?
So you'll pack like a bunch of school kids underground, and you tell like ghost stories and stuff.
Wow,
it's kind of creepy, and you stay in like old army barracks instead of tents. So that's something that is really common in Washington.
Wow,
you go out to those. Army
bases. I don't think there are a lot of abandoned army bases around Boston, so that's probably not why.
That's fair.
But yeah, I guess so. Like when I think about summer camp in the States, I always think about really outdoorsy things as far as activities go, like hiking, or horse riding, or archery. Like those are like
kayaking.
Staples. Kayaking, kayaking or canoeing. Those are the staples there. But you don't. But in your summer camps, you didn't do any of that.
You don't do that in Japanese summer camp.
Okay.
It's you still do activities.
Yeah.
Like you'll have nightly activities. For example, you have like a obake walk.
What obake walk? What's that?
Where it's supposed to be a ghost walk, where you tell ghost stories to the kids, and then you make them like walk out on this pathway at night. And then, like, some of the teachers will be wearing masks or something to kind of try and scare them. It's
wow.
It's kind of dumb explaining, but the kids have fun.
Yeah.
So you'll have something like that. You'll have barbecues. Like having a big Japanese style barbecue is something you always do at summer camp here. So basically, usually it's reserved for like the last day or second to last day, and you'll just get like literally several tables worth of like fruit vegetables and meat.
Okay.
And then like a whole bunch of grills, and then it's the student's job to prepare the food. So it's kind of like for many of these students, kind of their first experience like actually cooking food, because usually their parents would do that, right, if they go out camping. So it's a really good opportunity for them to kind of like gain some confidence and some independence.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of fun. I had like 4 plates of meat and vegetables last night. It was great.
Yeah, so that's interesting how like the kids have to like cook and stuff, because I never had to do that in my summer camp. Like there was this building where you would all go and you would sit. So the way that it was kind of organized, I don't know how it was for you, but for me, you had your cabin. Yeah. And your cabin probably had about 10 people in it or whatever. You had your cabin leader who slept in a separated area.
Yeah.
And you didn't really do much with them other than like sleep and go eat together. Or maybe you had some activities, but during the day you had like your own activities that you did, and then you'd come back for mealtime, you'd sit at your table. Was that like the summer camp for you too?
Not at all. So summer camps in Japan operate very similar to how schools operate. So at the beginning of the camp, the students will get split into groups very similar to classrooms at school, and then you do everything with that group. Okay, yeah, so you stick with the same group all the time. So in the ryokan, everyone's sleeping in like tatami mat rooms, right? And so everyone has a futon, and all that group sleeps in the same room. So you have, 5. In my case, you had like 5 or 6 girls staying in the same room. And you eat together, you bathe together, you do activities together, like you do everything together. Wow. It's like I said, it's like pretty much exactly like school. Yeah. Wow. And it's really fun for the students, but like I said, this is not my first time doing it, but it is brutal on teachers. Yeah, I would imagine. You are exhausted. You're a chaperone for most of the day. Yeah. So it's not uncommon to have 18-hour work days. Yeah. If you're a teacher going, because you wake up at 6 a.m. and it depends on the age group of the kids you're with. But for me, I was mostly with junior high school students, so you have to kind of babysit them and like kind of walk them. All right, go brush your teeth now. That kind of thing. Yeah. So you have to wake up before they wake up. Then you go through all the exercises in the day, and you'll send students out on breaks. Like you'll finish activity and be like, all right, guys, you have like 30 minutes till the next activity, so you can go rest in your room. Well, that doesn't work for teachers. You're all meeting at a table and like, all right, we have to plan out this next part.
Man.
Yeah, it's intense. And then in true traditional Japanese fashion, you have enkais every night.
Enkai, okay, yeah.
Enkais.
I can get it. I can get down for enkai, yeah.
Yeah. So we would finish at around 10 p.m. That was when the students would go to bed.
Okay.
Right. And then after 10 p.m., it's like, okay, time for enkai. So we bust out.
Oh, so the enkai was with the teachers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, of course. So we bust out the beer and the alcohol and stuff and start drinking. But it's like, it's kind of half and half relaxing and drinking and then also kind of going over the plans for the next day. So it's still kind of work.
Yeah.
And I mean, those can range from 1 hour to 3 hours. Like there were several nights that I didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. So. Yeah. And wake up at 6.
Yeah, I don't see if it was like 10 p.m. and I had to wake up at 6, I would get ready for sleep right then and there.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Just so,
dude, I don't know how you do it, man. I'm so lazy. Like my sleeping schedule is so flexible. It's like, oh, I'm going to bed late, so I'll wake up late. Like I can do that, you know. But man, so you're basically just like on guard the whole time.
Yeah. It's. I literally got off the bus and came here.
Yeah, right.
I haven't even been home yet.
Yeah, you look like someone just beat you up.
Yeah, man. I'm a little exhausted. I'm happy to be here. I was really excited, and as soon as you're like, "Hey, you want to do another video on Sunday?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah.
But I have to work tomorrow too.
Yeah,
so
dude.
it's like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I'll tell you that one of my students. I had a lesson with one of my students, and she said, "Oh, I always enjoy watching your videos with your friend Austin."
Oh,
and
yeah.
I told her that we were going to film today. She's like, "Oh, really? Awesome!" Yeah. So
nice.
So I mean, we're getting there, man.
I hope she can watch this video soon.
Yeah. Well, after that, now we're going to be getting like crepes and stuff, and like we'll be like making food for you. So hopefully you can relax a bit. You know.
I'm super excited about that. Last time we had crepes, it was pretty good.
Yeah. But dude, so let's think about what the experience in the States is a little bit compared to what you have in Japan, because we have a lot of Japanese listeners too, right? So what would you say is so the way that I was explaining summer camp in the States is kind of East Coast style, but you said you actually were in tents and stuff on the West Coast?
Yeah, it was probably 50-50 now that I think about it. It's like 50-50 tents and other times cabins, but it's always a specific place. We're not just going to a campground. It's like a specific place for kids to go and stay. So it's like kind of like a confined area.
Okay.
But yeah, it's I would say like if you put them side by side, I would say in America it's like mostly focused on socializing. And it's very like physical activity based. Whereas I think Japanese summer camp is it's very focused. You're not just going on summer camp. You're going on you're basically going to do something in a remote area.
Yeah, right.
Like whether it's like going on English camp or basketball camp or whatever.
So yeah, I guess you could say kind of the idea is that you want to focus on something.
Yes.
So you go far away. So in English, I guess that would be more like a retreat.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's a really good way to put it. It really is a retreat. You're just getting away from everything and just like hyper focusing on something for an amount of time.
Yeah, because like when I wanna detach from the world and just kind of reset, I can go on a personal retreat, too. But when I'm camping, when I think of camping, I'm thinking, oh, let me have fun in the outdoors and So, man, I still can't get over the fact that you call it summer camp, but you guys don't do much nature stuff. Because, like, for me, summer camp equals nature.
So I always joke about this because I think it's really ironic that it's called camp.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you do that involves camping.
It's
right. It's really funny because I've done this 3 times now, and it's not just me who has this experiences, by the way. I mean, you could say, well, maybe it's just your school. I've talked with my other friends who are English teachers, and they have very similar experiences where it's you'll go out to a remote area, but you don't do anything in nature.
Really? Man.
And maybe, to be fair, maybe that's a Tokyo thing.
Yeah.
Because people in Tokyo aren't like as adventurous as people living out in like, the countryside. My students will get outside and we'll see like one of the really big bees here in Japan and freak out and be like, all right, I'm not going outside now. It just cracks me up all the time. It's like, can we maybe go hiking? We're in Nagano. Like, this place is mountains and forests. I want to go outside.
Yeah. It really is, I guess, a retreat, because I've been on a couple of retreats where you go and you stay in like a cabin and you have a mess hall that you eat at, but you don't really go into nature. You do activities together all day.
Oh, you know what? One more thing I really want to focus on and just kind of bring up. So in Japan, Japanese students really don't interact much with students in different grades.
Yeah, okay.
Typically, if you're a junior high school student or you're a high school student, you interact with everybody in your grade.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're high school grade 2, you talk to class 1, 2, or 3, or A, B, or C, or whatever. You don't really talk to high school 3 or high school 1, for the most part. Well, here in summer camp, that's not the case.
Okay.
So these groups, people are still going to gravitate to their friends, but like these groups are mixed up. Like, we had junior high and high school students mixed together, and it's a really good experience because it gives the junior high school students a chance to kind of interact with people who are older than them, and it kind of makes them a little bit more mature. But it's also really good for high schoolers because it kind of gives them a chance to take a position of leadership where they might not have that opportunity in their normal lives. So it's a really great, like I said, it's a really great socializing experience for them.
Yes, I guess it's more like, I broke this one out already.
Fair enough.
This one was too good, man.
So we just dropped through that one.
Sorry, man. But actually, when I'm looking at the time, it's like 22 minutes in, and we normally finish about half every 30 minutes or so, and this is a little bit less than half of what we normally drink. So we're on time, man.
We're on time.
No rush, no rush.
Fair enough.
So do you have any fun memories from summer camp in the United States that you want to share?
Plenty, man. So I, like when I was talking about the abandoned military bases.
Okay.
So we had a chance to stay in this, and I was probably in 4th grade. So it was probably 9, 10. I don't remember how old you are in 4th grade, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, 9.
And so basically, let me describe. This base on Whidbey Island is called Camp Casey.
Camp Casey.
Yeah. And the public, I think, can go there too. But anyways, so the teachers hyped this place up a lot. And there's like, there's a lot of dead soldiers there, and there's a lot of ghosts that are there. And they're like really hyping this up. Or on the bus ride, they're explaining like all the stories, like, during World War II, the Japanese Navy attacked Camp Casey, and there's like a lot of people. It's all a lie, right?
Yeah,
there was never any attack there, but it's the teachers will say that to kind of scare the kids going in. And ghost stories are a big part in summer camp in America.
Yeah, sitting around a fire sharing stories.
And so they're explaining this, and they're like, this one bunker. And for those of you who don't understand what a bunker is like this cement room underground that's like supposed to protect you from bombs, right? So they're usually deep underground,
and there are beds there and stuff.
Yeah. And so they're like, this one bunker was bombed when it was full of soldiers that were hiding from an attack, and everyone inside was killed. So we're gonna go in that bunker when there's no lights and it's pitch black, and you have to find your way out. And all of my class, me included, were really scared by this.
Well,
we're like 9 years.
I would be scared of that too.
But it's like that's the intent. It's kind of like the idea is to put you in a situation where you're afraid and you're supposed to conquer your fear. So basically we get there, and I think we went to that bunker on maybe the 2nd or 3rd day on the field trip, right? And so the way the bunker is made is it's a concrete room underground, and then there's like some space, and then there's another concrete room that's built around it, right?
And by room you mean like
kind of like
walls
support.
and a ceiling.
Yeah. So basically there's like a 1.5 foot or like a 1 meter gap between the inner room and then the support room outside of it, right? And so we all got lined up, and the idea is like they're going to send students through that like 1 meter gap between the rooms. And it's really creepy to go through because you're cramped. Even as a kid, you're really cramped. Like
it's
like,
1 meter space.
You can't even put your elbows out.
Yeah.
Right. And there, I remember lining up. I distinctly remember this because my teachers were so cruel. They tried to scare us so much. But so they lined us all up outside, right? Yeah. And they're just like, "Hey, look, you guys, okay? If you feel any arms like trying to grab you, just keep going. Don't stop, or else they'll pull you and you'll never leave."
Oh man,
and they're scaring the crap out of us. We're like 9-year-old kids. So I'm just sitting like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die! Like this is it. This is it. I'm 9 years old and I'm gonna die here." Like, oh my god, why is no one freaking out about this? Yeah. Like, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
So I get in there and to be fair, it's pitch black. It's a very claustrophobic feeling, and I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like have you ever been completely like in a what do they call it, the isolation rooms?
Dude, I'm too chicken to do that stuff.
So there's something called a sensory deprivation room where it completely cancels out noise, and it's really claustrophobic, and it's so dark because there's no windows or anything that you start hallucinating.
Yeah.
It's really such a weird experience. Well, so this was very similar to that. Because when you get in, it's like, it's so claustrophobic. Noise is basically canceled, and like you can't even see like this this far
it's
ahead.
So dark.
And so you're going through, and you made it out fine.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's no arms that are pulling you to the underworld. This isn't crazy, and the teachers aren't going to put the students in real danger.
Yeah.
But for me, that stands out as like a very strong memory, just probably because I was traumatized.
Yeah,
actually,
right.
But
you walked through the darkness and you conquered it, man.
Yeah, and we got out and we did like campfire and s'mores and stuff. Man. But yeah,
dude. So how can I share a story after you share that kind of like formative experience right there?
You're talking to a master storyteller,
dude. You have so many amazing stories, man. Which is why I love talking to you on this. Yeah, dude. So for me, like, I don't really have any sort of interesting stories like that, other than the only time that I broke a bone was when I was in summer camp.
Isn't it funny how that always happens?
Yeah.
It's always summer camp where you get injured.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's doing something stupid.
I mean, yeah, but I wasn't even doing anything stupid. It was like in the lamest way. And so really? My parents,
Was it like you fell out of your bunk while you're sleeping?
No. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. So do you...
This is good too, by the way.
Yeah, this is good. It has a nice kick to it, for sure. So, so this is a question if you have this on the East Coast and the West Coast.
Okay.
Was there a game that you know of called Gaga?
No.
Okay.
I have no idea what that is.
So on the East Coast, maybe in the for all the country bumpkins, they enjoy this game. So basically, you take planks of wood and you make a pentagon shape.
Are you trying to summon a demon?
No.
Are you telling me that you go to summer camp to summon demons?
No. Dude, I went to Christian camp. Come on, man.
That's why it's even weirder.
No. So it's in like a pentagon or like hexagon shape. Yeah. And you have a tennis ball. And the whole point is that you're supposed to hit the tennis ball so it hits the other people. So a bunch of people are standing in the ring. And the purpose is you like have a tennis ball and you're not allowed to throw it, but you hit the tennis ball.
Okay.
And the purpose is to get it to collide into like their legs below the knees.
Oh, really?
Or something like that. And so if the tennis ball hits your legs below the knees, you're out. If it hits you above the knee, you're still in.
Okay.
And so I was really good at this game. I
was so good at this one game that you only played at summer camp.
No, it really was the summer camp game. Like in our free time, this is all that we would do.
I was like the most popular kid there.
I was not the most popular kid, but I was one of them for sure. No, in the like weirdo nerdy Christian camp, But no, so what happened was so it was down to like two people, me and one other person. This was like we're ready to do this.
Yeah.
So the guy hits the ball towards me, and I stand up and I jump up, and one of my feet lands right on the wall, like one of the boards. And so then it slips, and then I trip, and I turn around, and I fall down, and I guess I fall down on my wrist right here because what I felt was, dude.
Yep, I know that sound.
And when I looked at, and so I didn't really understand what happened, and then someone was like, Arthur, Arthur, your arm looks weird. And I look, and it's like I have another elbow in my arm right here. And I just look, I'm like, what happened? I don't know. So they called my parents up. My parents lived like 2 hours away, and like they took me to the hospital. But that was the only time I've ever broken a bone.
That's so funny. Yeah. I don't want to piggyback off that story, but Dude,
you can one up me all the time. You one up my entire life pretty much, man.
Well, you say that, and then you've got the lifestyle that I want.
It's okay, man. I mean,
I like the family life.
Yeah. No, we both have good things, but anyways, what were you going to share?
So hearing that story just reminds me. So I think I was in third this was probably around the same time I went to summer camp, actually. So I've broken I've broken more bones, but I've had 2 injuries, like major injuries in my life. So I severely injured my foot, and I broke a whole bunch of tendons in my foot when I was in the Marines. Long story, irrelevant. But the other time,
you can't just drop something like that. You don't have to share
I fell off a vehicle because somebody tossed me a machine gun.
Wow.
So,
okay. All right.
that's the short answer.
Okay.
When I was in 3rd grade, we were playing dodgeball. And so I want to preface this by saying dodgeball is banned now.
It is?
They don't play dodgeball anymore. It's
really?
Too violent.
Really?
It's too violent.
You can't play dodgeball even with softballs?
I don't think so. Dude, the softballs hurt.
Yeah.
They're like soft. Well, they are softballs, but it's like if throw them pretty hard.
Hit them in the right way. Yeah. No, I get it. Yeah.
But yeah, it's considered too violent for kids these days. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. To be fair, there's a lot of bullying with dodgeball.
No, dude, I totally get it. I was on the brunt of that for a lot, but dude, I still love dodgeball.
I'm gonna be honest. I bullied a lot of kids.
Did you know that there's a dodgeball club in Tokyo that you can join?
Is there?
Yeah, this guy who I originally was going to be a teacher for my company. It didn't work out after a while, but he started a dodgeball league in Tokyo.
That's so funny.
So you can go there if you want.
Yeah.
But anyways, continue with your story. Dodgeball, broken,
so
whatever.
A little bit of backstory is I'm not proud of this. This is not me bragging. But I was a bully in elementary school. I used to bully kids.
Yeah.
And it was not just me. It was my group of friends. We'd go around. We were some of probably the more rowdy kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got an in-school suspension when I was in 3rd grade.
In 3rd grade?
In 3rd grade.
What did you do?
Not many people do that. So I had a girlfriend in 3rd grade. And I know. I know how ridiculous.
What are you, 7 years old?
Something like that, right? Yeah, I think third grade's like 7 or 8 years old, right?
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend, and there was this kid from Ukraine who moved in like halfway through the year. This kid, I'm gonna be honest. This kid was tall and handsome.
Okay.
For a third grader. For a 3rd
Okay.
grader, right? And I remember the girl that was like my girlfriend, she really liked him. She's like, "Oh wow, he's so cool." They started spending a lot of time at recess.
Oh man.
And that upset me.
Yeah.
So with my caveman brain, I'm like, I'm going to beat this kid up. He likes the girl that I like. So that just made sense. And so I remember I packed my backpack full of like books and really heavy stuff, and like we finished school during that day, and then we were all leaving, and I just took my backpack and just like hit him with it. He just instantly collapsed on the ground.
Dude, you're a horrible person.
Yeah, I was a really bad kid.
Third grade you was a horrible person.
It's really funny because my family, like, they always talk about me being a really nice kid. They're like, "Oh yeah," they call me AJ. AJ is my nickname when I was like, AJ was so nice and everything. It's like. You guys
don't know half of the stuff that happened. Yeah,
you didn't see what I was like when I was.
My family's the same way too. Man. Yeah, it's just the parents.
It's just so funny. And then I don't even know if my dad remembers this, but like my dad picked me up that day because I immediately got sent to the principal's office, right? And my dad picks me up that day, and he's like, Why did you hit that kid?" And I, well, he's talking to the girl I like, and he's like, "Oh, well." Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
That's awesome, man.
So awesome, that was kind of a connecting moment with my dad and I. I don't know why that memory sticks out to me. That's really funny.
A great story. Okay, now
but anyways, so that was the backstory. I was kind of a bully in elementary school. And actually, this was after, so I transferred schools halfway through elementary school because my parents wanted to chase like a better education. They're like, we're gonna put him in this school, and this is where all the rich kids go. So he doesn't have to be with the poors.
Okay, so you go to a new school.
Yeah. And so I just went into school, and it was kind of like elementary school and prison are like the same thing.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is like if you get transferred in elementary school. So let me explain some prison rules here. I've never been to prison, but I've been told this is a prison rule. Is you need to go pick a fight with like the biggest person there just to establish like that no one will mess with you, right? Yeah. You've heard that,
right? That's a prison rule, and that's a school rule too.
Yeah. So elementary school is the same way. It's like if you're the new kid transferring in, it's like you got to show everyone that you're tough. Like, no, don't mess with me. Yeah. Like I just beat up this kid. So we do dodgeball probably about once a week when I was in the new elementary school, right? And I remember I loved dodgeball. It was like my favorite game. So we would always go. So kind of like the local like jocks, like the sports kids, the boys in the group, they were like they didn't really like me, so they like to target me. And so I would always run out to the center and grab as many balls as I can and start throwing them. And so one game we were playing, we all ran to the center, but like I was slower and they got the balls first. And this one kid just like hurled this ball at me, and it was weird because it was like slow motion where I'm seeing this ball go, and it just like hit my pinky finger, and then my pinky finger was like that.
Oh, your pinky finger?
Yeah. And I was just like, it was really weird because it didn't hurt at all.
Yeah.
Because like when you break a bone, it's like you have so much adrenaline running through your body. You're just like,
it's the shock.
Oh, that just happened.
Yeah, that's what happened with my arm too. It's like, oh, wait, I have another elbow.
So like I remember calling my like I went with the PE teacher in like the nurse's office, and we called my mom.
Yeah.
And like I remember talking to my mom, just like, yeah, my pinky's broken now.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm just looking at it where it's like, it's like swollen to the sizes of a grape. Yeah. And like, we go to the doctor's office, and I had this cast and everything, but it's just I don't know how we got on that adventure.
We got on that because I broke my arm at summer camp, and summer camp's way more active in America than in Japan.
Yeah.
But I think that's a good place to stop. I learned a lot about what summer camp is like in Japan.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I've told you before, but I'm living in Japan, but I'm not really in Japanese society.
Yeah.
Which is probably one of the reasons why I want to stay here so much.
It's so funny how opposite we are.
Yeah.
Because like you're really separated from Japanese society, but your Japanese is way better than mine.
Yeah.
And like I feel like you're able to like communicate and kind of integrate better than me. But like I live like the everyday life a lot more, but like my Japanese sucks.
It's because I learned it before I became an English teacher. That's why. Like so I found out. So just I tell this story a lot, but the first 2 weeks I came to Japan, my Japanese ability improved so much because when I was go for it, man. When I
no, I'm giving you some too. Don't worry, we have a whole nother bottle once Yui comes.
Oh really?
Yeah. I have the bottle from Kyoto.
Okay, yeah, because you said you were bringing a bunch of sake, and I'm like, oh, these.
No, this is just
this is the pregame.
This is the pregame. that other bottle, like I picked that out for your birthday present, so that should be.
Oh really? Oh, dude, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
But so for me, when I first got here, so I came here as a study abroad student. I could already speak Japanese pretty well.
Yeah.
But the program offered assistance for moving in. They'd help you with your Jumin Toroku or finding apartments or stuff like that. And I said, screw that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to figure it out myself. And truly, every day from like morning, more like afternoon because I slept in late.
For sure.
From afternoon until night, I was working on getting my bank stuff, getting my cell phone, getting my Jumin Toroku, getting my apartment, because it's so convoluted that if you do it by yourself, you always run into a bottleneck, and then you have to go back and do another step, and you have to come back, right?
Yeah.
But I learned so much Japanese in those 2 weeks. My Japanese improved so fast in those 2 months. I had to read a contract for housing. Yeah. And then after that got settled, I started teaching English, and everyone wanted me to speak in English, and then my Japanese just plateaued for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's really crazy how your language comprehension kind of escalates in spurts.
Yeah.
So
it's about using it, you know?
Yeah. Like probably about a year ago, kind of a similar thing happened with me, but it was over a more extended period, not over 2 weeks, over a whole year. So I started talking with the teachers more at my school.
Okay.
And kind of building relationships, and then also with my fiance, which, by the way, we're planning on getting married this month. The wedding's in March.
The wedding's in March.
We're gonna get married.
In September. Okay.
So we're gonna get married a little early, just because it makes my life
Congratulations.
easier. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. But I use Japanese with Yui a lot, and I've had like kind of like a Naruhodo moment.
Naruhodo moment. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean?
Naruhodo
Where it's
moment.
like it just hit me. So like, for example, on this trip when I was in summer camp, I did not go as an English teacher.
Yeah.
I went as a kyoshi.
Yeah.
Like just a regular teacher that's chaperoning students. And so it was not my job to speak English. So I tried to use as much Japanese as I could. And it really hit me on this trip. Like, I've had pretty much all of my conversations with my students in Japanese. Like, I've never been able to do that before.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a naruhodo. Like, oh,
that's awesome.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's great.
So I was really
you've been
excited.
here long enough. You should learn more Japanese, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
My goal. So this is a really lazy goal. I'm gonna preface this by saying this is a really lazy goal. I want to be completely fluent in Japanese by my 10-year mark.
And how many years are you in now?
5.
Okay.
So we got another 5 to go.
Yeah. It's okay, but I mean, so I know other people who have been here for 7 years and they still can't speak very well.
I do too. I know several people who've lived here for multiple decades.
Yeah, right?
And can't speak a single word in Japanese.
It's like, how do you do that?
Yeah. Well, I know exactly how you do that. You work as an English teacher here, and you surround yourself with foreigners here.
Yeah.
And you don't interact with Japanese people at all.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking bad about that lifestyle. It's like, if that's one lifestyle you want to live, that's fine. But I feel like it doesn't take that much effort just to kind of reach out and make Japanese friends and use your Japanese. Because as much as I want people to learn English here, it's like, you always hear this saying in America. It's like, why don't you learn English? Why don't you learn American culture? It's like, well, you kind of should if you're living in a country.
You should learn the culture.
You should learn the culture, and you should try to assimilate as much as you can.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're living here in Japan, even if you want to retain some of your identity from your original country, you should try as much as you can to learn Japanese and assimilate. Yeah.
So I think that's a really good
You've been
point
trying to stop it for like the past...
No, I haven't been trying to stop it. I've been trying to find a good place, and we already are at the 43-minute mark. So
I ramble so much.
No, dude, this is great. I'm really happy to talk with you.
This is fun.
You canceled on me last week, you jerk.
Okay, that's another story.
We can get onto that off record, man. Anyways, man, I'll see you next week.
Yeah, see you later.
Thanks, man.